Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out.
Peace, family. I hope all is well. I hope you're what's today? Today's Monday. I hope your Monday is going well. Listen, we are approaching midterms. Midterms is going to be here tomorrow. Make sure you go vote. If you don't vote, listen, you're still all good with me. I'm not one of these people who are going to let me straighten this out. I'm back to I used to always record right here, and then I kind of went to the other side of the room. Now I'm back to over here. So, guys, make sure you go and vote. Again, make sure you go and vote. And y'all, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for making this happen, making this possible. Okay. If it wasn't for y'all, the supporters, the family, this will not be possible. So thank you. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe as well. Oh, the focus. Come on, 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 focus. There we go. Bam. We good to go. We are good to go. Let me put this over here. And let me bring this lighting in a little bit more. Guys, thank you for being patient. Like I said, I'm kind of back to where I used to be in regards to my streaming. Now, guys, hit the like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. Okay, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. Okay, tours. All right, we are rolling to Sierra Leone in a couple weeks. Listen, if you want to roll, if you're a last minute person, come join us. Also, citizenship is available to those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available to those who qualify. You could get one of these right here. So there you go. Guys, if you have not bought the documentary, I want to make sure y'all see my beautiful mask. I want to make sure you guys see my art up in here. There we go. Just want to make sure you guys see my art. Just that right there. Bam. There we go. Again, if you have not bought the documentary, In Search of Uhuru, again, if you have not bought the documentary In Search of Uhuru, make sure you go to Search search4uhuru.com. Make sure you go to search4uhuru.com and buy the documentary. Again, make sure you go to search4uhuru.com. Make sure you go to search4uhuru.com and buy the documentary. We are running a promotion. Again, we are running a promotion. This is the promotion. All right, when you buy the documentary, again, when you buy the documentary, once again, when you buy the documentary, when you go to search4uhuru.com, again, when you go to search4uhuru.com, all right, that's the site. Click on the link, buy the documentary. When you buy the documentary, you will be entered into a contest, okay? The contest is you will win a trip to Africa on one of our tours. Again, you will win a trip to Africa on one of our tours. If in the next 3 weeks, again, if in the next 3 weeks, 3,000 streams of my documentary is purchased. Again, you out there, when you purchase the documentary, okay, you will be entered into a contest or a raffle, whatever you want to call it. If in the next 3 weeks, not if, no, we're going to claim it. When 3,000 streams of my documentary is purchased, there's going to be a drawing on the 28th, and one lucky winner will win a trip on one of our tours. Again, one lucky winner will win a trip on one of our tours. Once again, go to search4uhuru.com, buy the documentary. You're automatically entered. 3,000 people purchase the documentary in the next 3 weeks. Okay, in the next 3 weeks, within the next 3 weeks, it has to be these next 3 weeks. One lucky winner on November 28th. Again, one lucky winner on November 28th will be drawn, and that lucky winner will win a trip on one of our tours to Africa. Okay, we're on Sierra Leone in April, Senegal in May for the Jazz Festival, Nigeria in August, and Zanzibar in December. So good luck. Go to search4uhuru.com, buy the documentary. If you have not bought it. Listen, if you have not bought it, please buy it. This documentary, all right, for people who are on the fence when it comes to traveling to Africa, for people who have not been able to experience Africa, this documentary is going to inspire you to want to experience the continent. Again, this documentary is going to inspire you to want to experience the continent of Africa, the motherland. So once again, go to search4uhuru.com, buy the documentary, get inspired. It's going to inspire you to want to travel to the continent. And hey, one lucky person, I want to help in manifesting your trip to Africa. Again, I want to help in manifesting your trip to Africa. So I said, you know what? This is what I'll do. 3,000 purchases within 3,000 purchases within 3 weeks. One lucky person, you're gonna roll with us to Africa on one of our tours. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's jump into today's topic. Let's see here. Let's jump into today's topic. All right. Black people, elections are coming up, okay? Elections are coming up tomorrow. Y'all, don't be petty, okay? Do not be petty. Don't be immature. Don't take this personal, okay? If you are on the losing team, all right, if you are on the losing team, let it go. Again, if you are on the losing team, let it go. Don't take it personal. Don't end any friendships. Don't cancel anyone. I mean, black folks are the most canceling folks. We are some of the most canceling folks, right? But we are on the bottom economically, whatever's measurable, okay, that's of importance. We are damn near on the bottom, but we want to cancel folks for every little disagreement, everything. We are ready to cancel folks. So again, y'all, don't take it serious. All right. It seems like there's gonna be a red wave tomorrow. All right. Seems like they're predicting that the Republicans are gonna take the House and the Senate. It's what it is. It's what it is. And if you are that upset, if your team loses, and listen, we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen. But if you are that upset, if your team loses, if you are that pissed off, if your team loses, okay, go run. Go run for office. All right, you go out there and you go run if it bothers you that much that your team lost. So once again, here in Georgia, Kemp's going to win. All right, tomorrow, Kemp's going to win. Herschel, I got a feeling Herschel's going to win. If not, it'll be a runoff. And then in December, when the runoff happens, Herschel will win then. All right. Like I said, Republicans are taking back the House and the Senate. And the reality is, I know this is a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow, especially on the left. Yeah, I just ran a terrible campaign. You guys ran terrible campaigns. That's all it is. Stacey Abrams, terrible campaign. All right. Raphael Warnock, the debate he had was terrible. I was expecting him to mop the floor with Herschel Walker. He didn't. They got too arrogant. I don't know what it was. Aren't all of these abortion allegations coming up last minute? I mean, people aren't stupid. I mean, we don't know if it happened or not, but people aren't stupid. What do I mean? So all of a sudden, a month before the election, you just had it in your heart to come out and say that Herschel Walker, paid for my abortion. You had another lady who came out. You had another lady who just came out 2 weeks ago. Just all of a sudden, oh man, 30 years ago, he paid for my abortion. Like, people aren't stupid. So again, if your team loses, take it like a man, take it like a woman. Listen, if Kemp and Walker lose tomorrow, I'm gonna come on here and I'm saying, listen, Kemp and Walker won. Congratulations, Stacey Abrams. Congratulations to Raphael Warnock. Congratulations to them. Hope they do a good job. So, like I said, if your team loses, just let it go. Okay? Or if you're that upset, you go ahead and you run yourself. You get the money up and you run for office. Guys, give me 1 second. My bad, I'm back. Once again, if your team loses tomorrow, just let it go. Okay, just let it go. All right. Let's see here. They're getting ready to blame black men if it's all red. Of course. Of course. And y'all, shout out to my Bulldogs, okay? Shout out to my Georgia Bulldogs. Shout out to my Georgia Bulldogs who beat the Tennessee Volunteers. We are number one, no question. No question, we are number one. Somebody in the chat, I'm talking about some wear a Roll Tide shirt. Now listen, y'all done. Y'all done. It's over. It's over. The so-called, well, not even so-called, it was a dynasty. The Alabama dynasty is finished. Let it go. Let it go. It's done. The Bama dynasty is finished. It's finished. It's what it is. It's what it is. It's finished. The Bama dynasty is finished. Y'all just got to grow up and let it go. You got to grow up. It's done. But y'all had a good run. Y'all had a good run. Like for real. Y'all had a good one. Y'all had a good run. Alabama had a good run. I'll admit that. Y'all had a good run. But it's over now. Time to move on. Don't be sore losers. And it is what it is. But back to the first topic. Listen, black people, we got to work together. We're going to have our differences. We're not going to agree on everything. That's just part of being an adult. You got to realize we are not going to agree on everything. Once again, that is part of being an adult. Okay? So grow up. Let's work together. Let's build together. And that's what it is. And that's what it is. We got to grow up. All right, I'm just tired of folks. I'm tired of black folks castling each other over dumb, frivolous stuff. All right. And we in no position to be doing that. Again, I'm tired of black folks canceling each other over stupid stuff. Okay. We got to stop that. Once again, we got to stop that. Okay. We got to grow up. We got to be mature. Canceling each other over politics just shows an example of immaturity. Again, it's an example of immaturity. Guys, we're going to open up the lines here in about 13 minutes. Again, we're going to open up lines in about 13 minutes. Do me a favor. Wolverines versus Bulldogs national championship. Y'all going to get blown out. Y'all just worry about beating Ohio State end of the year, okay? In fact, I want you guys to beat Ohio State. Again, I want the Wolverines to beat Ohio State. I want y'all to win. I want you guys to beat Ohio State. I'm rooting for y'all end of this year. What else we got here? Oh, the Hebrew movie from Wake Up Black Hebrew. Was it Hebrews to Negroes? Wake Up Black America. Allegedly, the movie was being played at one of Shaquille's theaters back in the day. Back in the day, one of Shaquille O'Neal's theaters played the movie. Allegedly. Let's pull this up real quick. And this was 3 years ago. Back in 2018. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure if I were to bet, if I were a betting man, Shaquille O'Neal doesn't run the day-to-day operations of the actual theater. Shaquille has a lot of things going on. Again, he has a lot of things going on. So I seriously doubt that he runs the day-to-day operations, of the theater. So, it is what it is. So I know a lot of people are like, yeah, yeah, Shaquille, you being hypocritical, man, by calling him out. He probably had no clue that movie's being played there. 3 years ago, and this is from First Sports. 3 years ago, Shaq's Theater showed that documentary, Shaquille O'Neal gets called out for blatant hypocrisy against Kyrie Irving for supporting controversial movie. Shaquille O'Neal gets called out for screening a controversial documentary at his Newark Cityplex 12 Theater and then blasting Kyrie Irving for supporting it. Shaquille O'Neal has been a very prominent figure in the world of sports, being in the position that he is. The NBA legend tries his absolute best not to get involved in controversial happenings that could soil his reputation. In light of the recent events that took place around Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving, he had a lot of words to put out. Shaquille O'Neal went to the extreme of calling the former NBA champion an idiot. The way the name calling of other black men by black men who have platforms like Shaquille O'Neal is ridiculous. During an episode of NBA on TNT, he said, "The game we used to love and we promote, it brings people together. And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done." You ain't got to answer for it. You ain't got to answer for it. Kyrie can speak for himself. What Kyrie did does not affect you in any type of way. Again, what Kyrie did does not affect you in any type of way at all. What Kyrie did, somebody said the documentary is well sourced with pseudo scholarship. Oh, okay. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But what Kyrie did does not affect you in any type of way. Okay. It doesn't. So why y'all tripping? And see, and this is what I'm talking about, and this is how this right here circles back to the original topic. Black people can't afford to cancel each other. Def Rocker, co-owner with who? Co-owner with who? Yeah, black folks are so scared of what white people think. Again, black folks are so scared about how white people view them. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're in the chat room and if you have not hit the like button yet, please do me a favor and hit the like button. Somebody said this is 2 Niger. Yeah, when 2 Niger comes in, you'll see himself right here. Again, guys, hit the like button. If you are watching this and if you have not hit the like button, do me a favor and hit the like button, okay? Let's continue. Recently, a Twitter user pointed out that Shaq had actually promoted the same movie that Kyrie had posted about on his social media. The tweet said, "Wait a minute, 3 years ago, Shaq's Theater showed a documentary that Kyrie posted, laugh out loud. And one of the tweet's threads, an individual posted an image that contained all facts related to the accusation, which also had proof of the movie being aired at his theater." There goes the receipts. Shaquille O'Neal bought Cityplex 12 in Newark, New Jersey back in 2012. The picture in the thread had a YouTube title, Hebrews to Negroes 2 Revelation Newark premiere, which the video, which was uploaded in 2019, featured a man who promoted the movie and also mentioned his screening taking place at the same theater Shaq owned. The initial minutes of the 28-minute video had him advertise the movie's first screening at Newark's theater. Shaquille O'Neal wishes were granted after the Nets suspended Kyrie Irving. Yeah, why would we want to wish our brother to be suspended and not eat and lose money off of a difference in thought? Why would we want to wish this on him? That's the point I don't understand. But guys, listen, I'm going to open up the lines here in about 5 minutes. Well, not 5 minutes. Yeah, about 5 minutes. I'll open up the lines. If you have not bought the documentary, listen, everyone who is in this chat room watching this right now, if you have not bought the documentary, I am running a contest, promotion contest, whatever you want to call it. I am running a contest. Okay, contest is you buy the documentary. The contest started yesterday. Go to searchforuhuru.com. Go to searchforuhuru.com. Buy the documentary. Yeah, I'm back in my normal spot. Yeah, I used to be over on that side of the room. Now I'm back over here with the mask. I'm like, listen, let me come back to the mask. Let me come back home to the mask. And like I said, let me come back home to the mask. Okay. But again, buy the documentary. When you buy the documentary, the contest started yesterday. When you go to searchforuhuru.com, click on the link, buy the documentary, you are going to be automatically entered into a contest. All right. The contest is within the next 3 weeks. Well, actually, the contest started yesterday. So on let's see here. Yesterday was the 6th, November 20, between now and November 27th. Between now and November 27th. Listen, y'all, everyone who bought the documentary previous to the actual contest announcement, listen, I love y'all. You know I love y'all. I really, really do. But this is what you need to do. All right, if you want to be entered into the contest. I know y'all got multiple email addresses. So what you can do is just buy another copy using another email address. And guess what? You'll be entered. Again, just buy another copy using another email address. Or hey, you gift it to your friend and just tell your friend, listen, I'm buying you a copy. Again, I'm buying you a copy of Dynasty's documentary. Again, I'm buying you a copy of Dynasty's documentary. But if you win the trip is mine. If you win the trip is mine. All right, that's between you and your friend. Because if I call your friend's name on the 28th when we'll do the drawing, and if he or she wins, that's between y'all to duke it out. How y'all want to do the trip. But go to searchforuhuru.com, buy a copy of the documentary. It's $10.99 and it's yours for life, okay? This ain't no rental, it's yours. And you can stream it on any device. Again, you can stream it on any device, okay? You set up your username, your password, you log in, and you can stream it anywhere. It's yours. Not a rental, it's yours for $10.99. So for $10.99, you have the chance to win a trip on one of our tours to Africa, okay? But how it works, within the next 3 weeks, again, within the next 3 weeks, not if, but when 3,000 purchases are made. Again, when 3,000 purchases are made, it has to be within these 3 weeks by the 27th. I'm going on the 28th. I'm going to draw one lucky name or email address, and you will have the choice to come on one of our tours. Again, Sierra Leone in April, Senegal in May, Nigeria in August, and Zanzibar in November. You will be able to travel on one of the tours, okay? And everything that's covered normally on a tour is covered. So your hotel, your room, breakfast and lunch, transportation. We do one group dinner. It's covered, okay? It's on me. Now you got to bring your own spending money. And only one dinner's covered, so you got to bring your own dinner money. But everything that is covered for that tour is going to be covered. That's included on the tour is going to be covered by me, is on me. So buy a copy. We'll do the drawing on the 28th. And listen, one lucky winner, you're going to Africa. But again, we got to hit that 3,000 threshold. We got to hit that 3,000 threshold. Okay, family? There's over 100,000 of you. There's over 100,000 of you. There should be no reason why we cannot hit that 3,000 threshold. And listen, I know many of you out there want to experience Africa. I want you to experience it as well. And once you watch this documentary, it's going to light a fire in you to want to go to the continent. So Dynasty Amir is like, look, I'm a lucky person. You're going to go on me when the conditions are met within 3 weeks. So there we go. So let me put the link in the chat room. And everybody who bought the documentary previous to the announcement yesterday, like I said, buy another copy. It ain't gonna hurt. It ain't gonna hurt. Damn, Donnie, feel like I got to try my luck. Yeah, if you haven't bought the documentary yet, buy the documentary, guys. Again, if you shout out to Fitzgerald Stevens, you know what, Fitzgerald? Listen, let me tell you about my brother Fitzgerald Stevens. I'm not even gonna troll Fitzgerald today. I'm not gonna troll him. I love my brother. Yes, 3,000 sales. So there needs to be 3,000 purchases of my documentary between yesterday and November 27th. 3,000 purchases are made. One lucky person is going to win a trip on one of our tours. I'm going to do the drawing on the 28th. But let me tell you about my brother Fitzgerald Stevens. My brother. And I'm not, listen, we're not going to troll. We're not going to troll Fitzgerald today. They lost. I'm trying my hardest. Lord Jesus, God, Lord Jesus, white Jesus, do not put that spirit in me, that troll spirit in me, to troll Fitzgerald right now. Do not put it in me. Okay, they lost to LSU, but it's okay. It's okay. And I'm going to extend my hand to Fitzgerald Stevens and say, Fitzgerald, listen, if you want to be a Georgia Bulldogs fan, I will get your hat and shirt, and we won't tell nobody. We'll wipe your Alabama slate clean. We'll wipe your Alabama roll tide. We'll wipe the slate clean. We won't tell nobody you used to be an Alabama fan. We will welcome you like the prodigal child. All right. Fitzgerald is the prodigal, whatever it's called in the Bible. He's the prodigal child. So we are going to allow Fitzgerald Stevens to come and be a part of the Bulldog Nation. I'm even going to get him a hat and a shirt. And we're not going to judge him for what he did in the past, because he just didn't know any better. Fitzgerald just didn't know any better. Fitzgerald, I'm not trolling you, Fitzgerald. I'm just telling you, Fitzgerald, you just didn't know any better. You didn't know any better, Fitzgerald. You just didn't know. I can't fault you, Fitzgerald. I can't fault you, Fitzgerald. You just didn't know any better. You just didn't know any better, Fitzgerald. I love you. You just didn't know any better. It's okay. We forgive you. So we gonna because I mean the Alabama dynasty is done. It's finished. So we gonna allow Fitzgerald Stevens to join the Bulldog family and welcome him with open arms. So don't nobody here judge Fitzgerald or talk about Fitzgerald, okay? But Fitzgerald called me this morning. My brother called me this morning. It was like, Dynast, listen, go to your website. Here's my credit card information. Buy my copy of the documentary. Fitzgerald, my brother called me this morning, this very morning. It was like, Dynast, here goes my credit card information. I want to buy a copy of your documentary. Took his credit card information, went on the site, got him set up. It was 30 seconds. It was 30 seconds. You get immediate access to the documentary. And so Fitzgerald, I want, hopefully, Fitzgerald might be lucky. Now, is Alabama tied? Now, hopefully his fate or his luck isn't attached to his Crimson Tide, because they done. Roll Tide is done. So maybe Fitzgerald might have a shot to win in about 3 weeks. But my brother called me this morning. He's always supporting me. He said, Dynast, here goes my credit card information. Go ahead and put it in. Let me get a copy. But guys, the documentary streamed. So you stream it wherever you go. You just log in. Okay, let's move on. Let's take a quick commercial break. We will be back in 45 seconds. And Chrissy, I'm gonna let you in here when we come back.
Hey you guys, it is your girl Alexis Fowler coming to you with a special sale of 40% off all of my services when you use promo code VIP40 at alexisfowler.com. As a brand designer and consultant, I provide services like digital art, logo designs, packaging designs, web designs, social media flyers, and much more. If you're an entrepreneur with a business or a startup company and you need help with branding and graphic design, make sure you take advantage of this opportunity with 40% off using promo code VIP40 to get 40% off on all my services at alexisfowler.com.
All right, let's bring Chrissy on here.
Hi, Dynast. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Oh, okay. Hello?
Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah. No,
Go.
I'm just, watching all this whole, the whole Kyrie thing and Shaq and all that. And I remember a few months ago when, I was told that, Black immigrants are cowards and we're tethers and we flee, and FBA stands 10 toes down and fights white supremacy. And we don't do that. We're the sellouts. I find it very interesting. This is the opportunity, I would think, for FBA to show the world how they back other FBA. And that apparently is not happening, which proves the point that Black people only have smoke for other Black people and are professionals at having smoke for other Black people. The way folks went so hard with this FBA thing, It amazes me how quiet they are now that their fellow FBA brother is being quote unquote lynched virtually or digitally before the world and almost castrated. And all of the people who had so much to say are nowhere to be found. That's just very strange to me.
Chris, you make a great point. I mean, I can't even argue with that. And low key, they were doing the same thing to Kanye.
Yes, they were.
They're doing the same thing to Kanye, telling Kanye he's fumbling the bag. Why you dropping the bag? Why you fumbling the bag? And what you
Not a
doing?
peep. Where was all the FBA power? Where was the we fight white supremacy, 10 toes down? We're the vanguard. What happened to all of that talk? It just evaporated into thin air.
It's just talk. You know, that's what it is. It's just talk. Did
Yeah.
you go to the reparations rally this past week?
No, I did not. And the funny thing is this whole FBA thing, I lost a college friend, a friend I had for years over this thing, because she's a Tariqite and she felt that I should sit back and be insulted and be and listen to talk that I am Black immigrants are cowards and we're not as on code. And I just said, no, I mean, what is the code? And literally this argument destroyed our friendship. As silly as it sounds, she just distanced herself from me over this conversation. So now, for all these people who are so passionate, I just want to know why they're so quiet at this juncture. This is the great opportunity, prime opportunity to speak up and show the world that you are the vanguard.
Well, Jason Whitlock, who I think is FBA, he's supporting.
Yes, he's a lone ranger.
Right, but the loudest of FBA and ADOS, they was dissing the hell out of Kanye.
See? Black people only have strength for other Black folk. So that's all I wanted to say.
Somebody in the chat room said they were more focused on takeoff.
Oh, okay. They can't multitask. Understood. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, appreciate it. Guys, listen, links in the chat room, call in. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you are more than welcome to call in. Again, if you want to call in and add to the conversation, you are more than welcome to call in and add to the convo. Okay. Let's see here. Guys, and hit the like button, guys. Do me a favor and hit that like button. But Chrissy makes some great points. Listen, Chrissy made some great points. She made some great points. So here we go. Wisdom never sleeps. Let's bring the OG on here. There we go. Let's bring the OG on here. Wisdom never sleeps. Go ahead. I hear you loud and clear.
How you doing? And I hope all is well. One thing I want to say real quick, and most people may not know this, that yes, that video may have been shown in Shaq's cinema some time ago. And then he called Kyrie an idiot. So did Barkley. But let me ask you, who's the idiot if you don't have your family name no longer? His son went to try to capitalize on his name as a basketball player up and coming, but found out that the company that Shaq sold his name to years ago forbid him to do so.
Well, one more. Can you? Okay, so you said his son tried to.
Yeah,
do what?
Image and likeness. That's the big thing.
NIL, right?
Yeah. So Muhammad, we found this out also doing with Muhammad Ali's daughter, who's building an empire, went to use her name, and they trying to shut her down. So she's fighting because her father sold his likeness and image for a one-time sum of $50 million. So it covers your family name and the children coming after you. So Shaquille O'Neal done the same thing.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm very serious. There's a lawsuit now. Layla Ali is trying to get the use of her own personal name, but the way those things are designed, when her father sold the rights and likeness of his image for $50 million up front, it also in the language also covered his name, which is the children's name as well. And so when I think his name was Shakir or Shaquille, something funny name.
Yeah, I think it's Shakir.
Right, Shakir went to do the same thing. They shut him down because his father no longer owns his name. But who's the idiot? This is a lot of stuff people don't know.
I gotta look. I'm gonna look this up. Okay, I'm gonna pull this up. Hold on. I'm gonna look this up real quick. I'm not saying I don't believe you, but we gotta read the art. I want to read this. The Shaquille.
Yeah, that's the word of them trying to. He's still trying to get through to that, but they went to shut him down. But you calling the guy who is trying to, protect himself about being an idiot. But your name for your son can't be used unless you can get something done.
Here we go. Here we go. This is from Afro Tech. Shaquille O'Neal has a $400 million fortune, but did you know he sold the rights to manage his name and likeness to Authentic Brands Group?
Hmm. But who's the idiot?
Oh, wow. But I'm trying to figure out, how does this affect his son?
Because a lot of those clauses will also include some of your children, your last name and the lineage that comes after it. That's why Layla Ali is now going to battle, because she's a multi-million-dollar industry, but she can't even capitalize with her own name because of what Muhammad did for $50 million. The same thing Shaquille did. One-time payout, and they have this stuff in perpetuity for every time a fight is done, anything like with Shaquille, imaging and stuff like that, he don't control it.
Somebody said his Authentic Brand Shaq is number 2 in the company, which I'm reading right now.
So when we learn about these things, about a lot of these athletes and entertainers selling those rights away, it affects their lineage and that generational wealth. It's not always about if they're marrying outside. That's another thing that goes, but they are selling a lot of times their own future generational wealth through their own kids.
Oh, here we go. Shaquille O'Neal. Well, actually, they're saying, okay, Shaquille O'Neal stopped son Shakir from trademarking his name and likeness because it's too similar to his own. So it's his father blocking him.
Well, no, he's fronting for that. He had to come out and try to make himself look like he didn't sell it out. He's got the same face.
Yeah. Shaquille O'Neal Shaq is a known businessman, and his latest decision just might keep his son from following in his footsteps, at least for now. The Authentic Brands Group of Shaquille O'Neal has prevented his 19-year-old son, Shakir, a basketball player for the Texas Southern University Tigers, from registering his name and likeness as a trademark. The reason for the move: their names are too similar and might cause confusion.
That's
According
what
to
the
the
same
notice,
language. Not cutting you off. That's the same language they're trying to use with Layla Ali. It says the confusion that may cause. Her name is not Muhammad. It's a Layla. That's the same language that they're saying it to combat her in the lawsuit.
wow.
So Shaquille is trying to get out in front of it to make himself look like, oh, I'm just trying to let him know. No, if you really a true family man, a true black man, you would make sure that your son is good. You wouldn't be the one trying to block him because your name is similar. Who gave him that name? You and your mom. You and his mother. You already knew about his name. You just didn't think eventually he would come to anything, I guess. So you're trying to cover for the mistake you did because you were the idiot. So I guess Kyrie is not the only idiot, huh? But that language is the same language they're combating against Layla Ali right now in the lawsuit she's bringing to get her name.
Yeah, that's.
See, a lot of people don't know a lot of things going on, and but you call somebody idiot, you have to be sure. And he's doing this now because remember, his stepfather that he called his dad died, the Marine man. And so he's doing a lot of stuff that people was kind of shocked by him since that, because he don't have him to, snatch him up, because he wouldn't be talking like that if his dad, that the one he called his father that raised him, the stepfather, would still be alive, because he would check him.
Right.
He always checked Shaquille on stuff. And he's now, since he's passed, he's actually doing the stuff his father told him not to do against his own people. Talk crazy. Just shut up.
Guys, hit the like button again, please. If you have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. Experience Liberia. Go ahead, unmute yourself.
What's going on, Dynast? Thank you for having me on the show. I have a question. With all this uproar and everybody's going at Kyrie, the powers that be, the Jewish infrastructure, whoever they call themselves are, why haven't they reached out to Ron Dalton and challenged him on what he's saying?
You're talking about the book, right?
On the book of him coming in and giving his own personal state and why he wrote the book or why he made the movie, for them to challenge that. He put it out in the movie. He's welcome to a debate. He's ready to sit down with
But it's
them.
really not about the book. What you must understand, this is coming back to the jab. This is why the NBA is going so hard, because a lot of stuff was interrupted with them. So when you refuse and you stand tall on your decision back then, they wait till an opening to get you, because you notice he never said anything. So they're trying to say the post. But really, this is the opportunity to break him down for refusing to go along at that time. That's really
true.
what this is.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I agree with you.
So hard.
I agree with you 100% with that. I totally agree. But it goes back, like I said, people are talking all this stuff. Interview the man. The man has no problem. Ron Dalton has put out on his platform, if you go and you look at his YouTube, From Hebrews to Negroes, what he said, hey, I welcome you. Come in and sit down and talk to me why I feel how I feel it and what I'm saying. So disprove it. So Kyrie never said anything, and that's what he said. I never wrote it. I never made it. I just posted something. I wasn't promoting it. You can take it what it is, but the thing is, why aren't they going after Ron Dalton? He's the one who created, and it's been that way, like he said before, since 2014. This has been out. He's been trying to shop deal. Even the Breakfast Club, he paid for promotion for it to be on the Breakfast Club and had a check for them. And they turned him down, not saying why they would not take the money for his book and movie to be promoted on the show. So what's wrong with that? So that's a problem with that.
There's some people who wanted to challenge them, get anybody. And what people let me say this. There's a rabbi that put out information prior to when they talk about things being anti-Semitic and the Holocaust and all these things. And he put out the fact that what really happened in Germany is what's happening now. Those powers that be, as you say, was creating a lot of the porn. They was doing a lot of the transgender stuff, a lot of that back then, and that's what Hitler did not want. That's what the rabbi said out of his own mouth. And he said it's going to come a time again that somebody's going to stand up, because that's why they keep trying to quiet people as well. But the other reality to that is the fact that it's just history. It's an ongoing thing. But also, the black man is the easiest one to publicly lynch. No matter what, he is the easiest one to publicly lynch, because he don't have a backing. One knows the country. There's people here, and they has enough what they call the house slave to go against them to help them keep facilitating the butt breaking. That's really what the thing is. They're using the same repetitive things as it did in the hardcore slavery days. It's nothing new. Bring them out in public. Let's tar and feather them. Let's rape them in front. Let's do all that to make the next one scared to even talk. You cannot have warriors the black man, the warrior, and come to life again. So they have too much platform. So we got to still do our same thing. We just have to do it now with money and technology, where it used to be just the body itself.
Hey, real quick, Crenshaw Grinder, call in. Click on the link and call in and expand on what you just said in the chat room. Please call in and expand on what you just said in the chat room. And guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button again. Please hit the like button again. Hit the like button.
And I did buy the second documentary just a few minutes ago.
Okay, I appreciate it, bro. Hey, listen, y'all. Shout out to Wisdom Never Sleeps. This brother's like, listen, I want to win this drawing. Like, I want to win this contest. So I'm gonna buy me another copy. Thank you, brother. Hey, shout out.
Not only that, I'm gonna get time for my sons. I have a son's birthday today, so he's gonna get one too.
Hey, look, that's what I'm calling. Thank you. Listen, thank you for supporting the brother. Let me say this, guys. I don't ask for too much. You know, usually I'm like, listen, I would rather you guys buy a product or a service than sit on here begging for money like some people do. You know, so I'm like, let me produce something. 'Cause I just believe in producing and offering services and products of value. And you know, people like yourself, I'm just saying, get it from me. Like I'm not on here, you know, begging for money. And you know, don't trust me, y'all. Y'all can cash app and super chat all you want to. I appreciate that. Thank you. Cash app and super chat all you want to. But listen, just support my work, support what I do. Buy a book, buy shirts, buy the gear, buy my documentary, come on a tour. That's all I'm asking for. Because you know, we got to pay bills around here. Anthony Jones, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, peace to y'all, peace to everybody on the chat, peace to the live stream or whatever, man. Listen, man, I got a little problem, man. And I need for y'all folks to answer, because this is kind of hilarious to me. But as a 46-year-old man about to be 47 in a week, I want to know what's the black man's ultimate goal, man? Because you know what I mean. You want to talk about, oh, you can't say what you want to say. You can't do what you want to do. This is a public lynching. The black man is the easiest one to break or buck broken, whatever you want to call it. But this seems to be like a historical viewpoint, because the brother just mentioned history. Now, if you know you was oppressed people, if you know you got somebody's foot in your neck, isn't the end game? Because for me, as an idiot, let's say I'm an idiot, man. For me as an idiot, I would think the end game is to get that foot off your neck, man. But I mean, it just seems to me that the black man, whether in America, Africa, the Caribbean, I mean, because we all do the same dumb shit all over the damn globe, man. It just seems like we just don't really want to take this power, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you want to talk about Kyrie's being buck broken or whatever, or Kanye's being buck broken. I mean, but wait, how can somebody that has $40 million or $10 million be buck broken, man? I mean, yo, please explain. Somebody, please explain it to me, man. I'm not understanding it, man. You're crying.
Okay.
What you crying? What are you crying over, man? I need to know what y'all grown black men are crying over, man. Either you're gonna get the foot off your neck, or you're gonna stop crying. Let me know. Somebody, please educate me.
Okay. Let me chime in on that. Right.
Yeah,
What you're
chime in,
saying is
brother.
$40 million, and you saying how he buck broken.
Mm,
But the simple fact is that he will go if you standing on a principle and what you
Jesus
believe in.
Christ.
Hold on, because he's standing on a principle, and you turn around and you say, "I'm sorry." What do you think that is? You got millions of dollars. Who cares? Walk away from that. I'm not gonna go against what I feel, what I believe, and what I know is to be true, and I see the oppression of what my people go through, I'm not going to apologize for what you never. So here's the thing: you never apologized to us as a people for what you did in the hand in slavery. So therefore, because I work for you and now I have a voice and I want to stand out and I'm pointing out what wrong is wrong, then there's a problem. That's a problem with that. How you can't see that? It's a simple fact.
Yeah.
You stood up. You stood up, and and he posted a picture of a Ron Dalton movie. He never said anything. If the person wanted to click on it, they had their choice to do so. It's up to them whatever they want to do and whatever they got out of the movie. So, but for you to make me apologize for something that I did not create, that I did not say, hey, go get or go buy, for you to try to make me look like I'm anti-Semite, and all he said is, how can I be anti-Semite when I know who I am? But yet and still, you still had to come and apologize. And I understand the game. Here's the thing. That's why I'm not trying to throw nobody up on the bus. All I'm saying is that if you're going to stand with him and you know that, even if you know you don't want to put your stuff in jeopardy, just say, I have no comment on that subject. That's it. Don't call him out. Don't call him an idiot. Don't kill him off in public. That's what they want. We've always been doing that. If you don't have anything good to say, like we was taught at an early age, keep your mouth shut. That's it.
Okay, bro.
That's
You
it.
you are, bro, brother. You are absolutely right. I totally agree with you. And I don't believe in anti-Semitism because I was schooled under the elders. You know what I'm saying? The only quote unquote Semitic people are black people. There is no such thing as the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? All that is a part of Africa. We already know that black people originated that part of the hemisphere even before these so-called people got there. Now, I'm not debating with you with history because I already know my history and I'm sure you know the history too. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not on that viewpoint of claiming to be a Jew or a Hebrew Israelite. The only thing I claim to be and the only thing I want to be is an African, a black man that's originated from the original people, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever religion we want to branch off with, we already know that religion and all its philosophies come out of the heart of Africa. Black people are the only spiritual people and the only people that really and truly believe in God. Now I'm not debating with that, but what I want to focus is on what I want to focus on is what you just said. If Kyrie has a problem, if Kanye got a problem, you got enough money. Move on. Move on. Don't be in the man's establishment and want to call out the man within his establishment. You know what I'm saying? If you want to retire, if you want to quit, I quit and then go then you can rally your people behind all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? You know that's just the way I feel, man. But while you playing and whatever, man, it don't make no sense to call somebody out and says, oh, listen, the same man that pays me this 40 million, he's this and he's that. You know what I'm saying? You just said it right. You just said it right. If you ain't got nothing good to say, keep your mouth shut, man. How many millionaires how many people that has the means for economic empowerment is really on Twitter tweeting, man. I mean, we all got to give it up, man. I mean, Kyrie's an idiot, man. These dudes are idiots, man. I mean, if you sitting around in a plush mansion and you got access to wealth, you really got time to be twiddling your fingers on the internet, man? That's just a
See,
dumb move. That's just
oh,
a
no,
dumb
no, no,
move.
no, no, no. See, there you go. Once again, and this is where I have a problem with my people. It's because of the simple fact is that you say he's an idiot. What makes him an idiot for putting what he feels about our people and what they went through? We have not
Right,
gotten justice
right,
on anything.
right,
No, no, no. Let me
right.
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. We have not gotten our just due Just because they allow certain people to go through and be a figurehead, that does not mean that everybody else isn't enjoying the same thing.
I
They
totally
have
agree.
been conditioned. But you, it sounds like you contradicting yourself because you're saying how's they
No, no,
butt
no, no,
breaking
no,
them.
no, no, no,
That's
no,
what
no,
you
no,
came.
no,
You when you first
no.
started off, you asked the question. You asked how is it that they call it butt breaking and all that. You don't agree with that with the history and everything else. When you go back and you look at it, that's what the whole book is talking about. It's talking about the history and where they are today. So we got to stay on topic. That's what the whole thing, when he's bringing up all of this stuff, this is what it is. It's about history. And a lot of people probably don't know. Look up King Bulan. Just look up King Bulan and see who he is that's in relation to them and see how did he come about. How did they move the way they move?
Okay,
Through
this
King
is
Bulan.
I want to say, let me read this super chat. Shout out to ACD Foreign Educational Consultant. I'm hoping everyone here has seen the film Hollywoodism, where that group of people have proudly detailed how the design Hollywood to control public perception. Let's pass it to Gas them up. Gas them up. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dennis, I got a quick question before I give my opinion on the topic. Was what's his name? Was Charlie Sheen buck broken? Was Andrew Tate recently buck broken? Was Alex Jones buck broken?
Oh, I know what you're saying. They said F you and they dip.
This is my point. This is my point. You take a stand, you know what I'm saying? Be a man about it. Don't sit there and cry. You took the stand. Muhammad Ali was stripped of his prime years. He took the stand, right? He took a stance, and much respect to him. That's a brave gangster. That's more gangster than any Big Meech or anybody, what Muhammad Ali did. But there's a price to pay. Freedom is not free. Freedom is a practice. You got to live it every day. And not everybody's willing to be uncompromising. Because to really be a freedom fighter, are you willing to take bullets in you like Bob Marley? Are you willing to have your mother thrown out of a fourth floor window like Fela Kuti? If you ain't ready for that, if you ain't ready to be in a cell somewhere hung upside down while they putting electrodes on your testicles and beating you and threatening the lives of your children, don't what they say, if you're scared, go to church. Can't stand the heat, then get in the kitchen. It just
okay.
is what it is,
Let me say something.
So
Let me say.
let me finish real quick,
Brother.
brother.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
brother.
so I'm just saying, in reference to the topic, of course Shaq is, Shaq is Shaq is somebody who is going to be seen as contradictory. All these people are compromised. All of them. They've all wore their dress. They've all wore their dress. Remember back in the day, Larry Johnson was walking around talking about grandmama. He was Medea before Medea. You get what I'm saying? So all these people are compromised. Like, that's part of the game. If you want, for the most part, Western success, you're going to have to do what Western people feel is comfortable to them. They like to present black men in dresses. They like to make black women seem excessively masculine. That's just what makes them feel good. And if you choose to play by that game, don't complain about it. Or we can find alternative ways. But the truth of the matter is, if you go the alternative route, you might not be successful within their system. You might not get the Netflix deal, but you might sell, like Dynast, you might sell, 30,000 copies of your documentary, as opposed to streaming it and getting, all kind of rewards and benefits. But that's the price. So I think black people all over the world have to ask themselves, if we're not ready for the alternative, and in my opinion, I've said it before, if, let's say, I'm in charge of Nigeria, all them oil companies are going to go, right? All oil companies are going to go. You're not going to destroy my environment. Corruption is out the door. You steal a naira, we chopping off your head. And we chopping off your wife's head too, because she was enjoying kicking back. She should have told you, honey, don't steal. But do you think I'm not going to last in Nigeria? CNN is going to say I'm raping women or some nonsense like that. And they're going to try to send in the Marines. And if I can resist them, then they're going to put their sanctions on me. So if I don't have people in Nigeria ready to face that type of hard life of sanctions and eating what we can grow and find ways to navigate against this Western system, then let's all just acknowledge what it is. The white man got us beat. And until we figure out a way, we just gotta have to play ball. That's all I gotta say.
And to
Okay, let me
add to
say.
that, what you understand is they made their money with the same people. If you're going to talk about, it's almost like living in your parents' house, and then you want to do what you want to do because you said that's my room. But the actuality is that's their house, which encompasses that room. So they can still, you still love your parents, but you want to be your own man, your own adult. Okay, go out and get your own, and then you can make that call. You can make those decisions. The reason why they can buck break these guys versus the Andrew Tates, and Andrew Tate said that themselves, all they could do was try to cancel me because I don't make money from them. I don't have anything in my name. It's under trust, which is under corporation, which is under LLC and all those things. It's levels of the ones that when they layer themselves in protection, you can't take from them. So the only thing they could have really done was say, okay, you can no longer either play here or do this. But if all your money comes from them, tied to them, and it's exposed within their banks and everything, then yeah, that's how they can get you. That's how a rich person can be butt broken, or tarred and feathered, however you want to address it. That's how. They don't own anything. And they did not protect themselves and insulate themselves for this time to come. So during that experience time with the jab situation, had he went out and had some good financial sound advice and insulated all those things, so when this come around now, he would go, okay, so what? Because he wasn't worried about feeding the family. He wasn't worried about being stripped of his wealth. That's what the Andrew Tates and those people like that do. They insulate stuff which you cannot take from them. And that's the part that is not done in our layer of people. So that's how they can get to you.
Preach, Baba. Preach, Elder. That's 100%.
Okay, let me respond to that. As far as with the jab, let me tell y'all something. Me, as many people that I know, we had to take the jab because of our job. Now, me being a military veteran, you know what I'm saying, I already took like 50 shots in the military, man. I wasn't about to go all up in arms in the jab. I waited to the last minute to take the jab. If I didn't have to take it, I wasn't going to take it. But if they made me take it, I took it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'm not in a power play position to resist them. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. If at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, they infected me with some nanobites or whatever, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, only thing I can do is make my money work for me and try to come up with a cure. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I look at it, man. But as far as people that's not in a position, you can't talk for people that's not in a position, man. The only thing you can do is make yourself powerful in whatever position you are in, so that your peoples that don't have the resources don't have to go through the same struggles that you are not privileged to go through. Now, all I'm saying is, if these guys that want to speak out against the system, if their money's not insulated, as far as, okay, if you have $100 million in some type of bank account, or if you have some $100 million in some type of business, and it's not protected, and you saying, okay, if you speak out, then all your money's gonna go bankrupt or whatever. I could understand that fact. You know what I'm saying? But I'm coming from it from an outside point of view, and I'm just like, okay, listen, man. Me personally, the job I work for, let's say if I had $1 million, I would quit my job because I know what to do with $1 million. Now I'm not saying that these dudes and these individuals, as far as Kyrie or Shaquille or LeBron or Kanye, their money's insulated. But that's the first That's the first element of power, is to insulate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like those of us that listen to Nas from back in the days, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be a boss, you got the rep to be a boss, man. You can't just say you're a boss and you don't have that reputation. So my thing is, all right, if you're not like Gassim said, if you're not ready to come up out the woodworks, then all you gotta do is move in the background. All you gotta do is move in the background. Just stay silent. Do what you gotta do. Let your money, because the dude could have been transferring his money into Swiss bank accounts or transferring his money to the Caribbean. There's different ways to move and shake in this society, in this world that we live on. You know what I'm saying? In order to break the system down from within. So if you're not ready to take that heat, or if you don't have your money insulated, if you don't have your family, if your family's not on a protection level, man, why say something, man? Whether, because what he said is irrelevant, what he tweeted was irrelevant, but was it necessary? Was it necessary? If you not willing to jump out the window, then just keep your mouth shut, bro. Just keep your mouth shut if you're not willing to fight, because just for the fact that you gotta walk it back, and then now you want to walk it back, and don't you really find that you really saying to yourself, well, why should I walk it back? All right, now you stuck in the mud. Because all right, all of us has been schooled by the elders. Now the elders done told us, yo, listen, man, we not in the position. Because that's why we went through slavery, man. You think every man and woman that went through slavery would have went through slavery if they knew their kids was gonna go through slavery? Or we would have been in this position to today? They sacrificed and went through that torture because there's like, okay, I'm gonna have something better for my youth, for my children. So that's all I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm saying. I'm not against what he said, man, because I already got my own opinion about these so-called people, these so-called anti-Semitics. I mean, like I said, I've been raised by the elders, man, so I already know what it is, man. But my fact is, my thing is, all right, if that's how you feel, you plot and scheme, you get with your brothers, you whisper to a couple of brothers in the NBA. If they not with you, okay, you say, I don't have nobody in the NBA. So you start to whisper outside, man. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got nobody in America that's gonna ride with you, okay, you take it to the Caribbean. If you ain't got nobody in the Caribbean that's gonna ride with you, you take it overseas, man. You take it to Africa or whatever, man. But there's ways to do it. Tweeting, grown black men in 2022 tweeting about the system, it ain't gonna get it done, man. And that's just how I feel, brothers, man. If y'all don't agree with me, I'm
No, no,
sorry, man. But
you know what happened? You know what happened, brother Anthony?
yeah,
You know what I think happened, Dynast? Elder Wisdom never sleeps. You know what I think is happening? I think, and I've been screaming this, right? But when I say it, I have to be careful because I'm a tether, right? People get mad. Why you say that? Because I'm an outsider, right? But the problem has always been the black community has been structured around the idea of celebrity. Not always, but after, you see like the rise of the so-called celebrity influencer and the 501c3 leadership concept of community. And what has happened is like you're on the plantation, you think about the biggest, strongest Negro on the plantation, right? And then as strong as he is, Massa could still come and whip him down in front of us. And that kills us psychologically. So basically, that's what black people are seeing. They're seeing there's strong people on the plantation that they thought had some power, and Massa just came and just whipped their ass in front of us and beat the living daylights out of them. And now we sitting there like, holy smokes. So you mean to tell me Superman ain't as gangster as he said he was? That's what I think people are coming to realize, and they can't come to grips with it.
Right. And a few things that I want to address with young brother Anthony as well. When you earlier was stating about being in the Army and the jab situation, you went ahead and submitted to that. That was myself, and a lot of people still did not do that. There's a lot of people who was ready to stand firm on what their decision was. As Gassama was talking about on a lot of things, you got to be ready for that consequences. But later on, these people are getting their jobs back. They're getting back pay. There's lawsuits and things that happen because some people still stood. They said no. It's the decision that you make. I remember when I went through that, and thankfully I was self-employed, but I had contracts. And one of the things they said, well, you need to wear a mask. I said, no, I just voided that contract right there, was done. They're still begging for me to return. But there was a stream of income that I was willing to give up for what I decided for my own self. Okay? So, but also you had to have other things going on, but you have to still make sure your decision was your decision in the armed services. Like a lot of people in the hospitals, a lot of people decided not to do it, but there was consequences behind that decision. Now you said, well, if you had $1 million, you would know what to do with it. It's not that most people don't know what to do with money. They don't still insulate yourself, meaning that when you go with that system they have of trust and things like that, and nothing in your personal name for them to take, your accounts are in a trust and things like that, they can't take from you. That's insulating. It's not that you just know how to make more money with money, but if you have it out there for them to take, then you're still subject to the same system that they can attack you on. Now, the biggest thing is you have to stop trying to say people of any age or any class shouldn't be on social media that you and many of us on. That's their right and privilege. It's their right to tweet or talk about what they desire to do. You're trying to tell another man what he should not be doing, and he still, by the way, have more money than you. We got to stop that. And you have to understand, the one person never said anything about anyone. He just posted. It's just like you, Mr. Jones. If you had found a good book, a good restaurant, a good pair of clothes, some shoes that you really like, a good service somewhere, a good masseuse, and you just sent that information to a friend of yours and say, hey, you need to go over here. This is great. They got this. He just found out what he thought was information for what he was in pursuit of, his knowledge of himself, in a book, and shared it. That's it. He never spoke about it. He shared a book. We in the affiliate marketing business, in the referral business, we're sending out information to people all the time, whether they like it, lump it, don't want it, whatever. He was sharing something that he discovered that was supposedly helping him, that might help others along their journey if they're looking for the same thing. And now you want to say he shouldn't have did that, but you share stuff. I'm sure you told people about the armed services before it may went to the armed services. Whatever.
No,
That's no. But what I'm saying is, I'm sure sometime in your life you have sent something to someone about something you like, read, seen, or place you've been.
No,
So
I haven't.
never shared. You never
No,
went to a restaurant.
no,
You never even told friends about your great mom's cooking or grandma's cooking. You never shared any information that you thought
no.
was
Family,
in your life.
family, elder. I mean, like I told you, I'm 46, about to be 47 in a week.
Right. You
I
still
moved.
younger than my oldest child.
I moved different. I moved different, man. I grew up in the '90s, man. I was taught by one rule, man. Bad boys move in silence, man. Now, I came about in this social media era, and I seen this social media era pop up, but I never been a fan of this social media as
Hey,
far as what.
one second. Wisdom never sleeps. I had muted you because there's feedback coming from you when people talk. So when you get ready to talk, you're gonna mute yourself.
Yeah, I know it was my fan. I turned it off.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, as far as the social media, I've never been. I'm not against social media, but I just feel like, okay, if we live in the matrix, whether you believe in the matrix or not, and if we are people that's striving for power, we already know that the eyes is on us. So if you're gonna move, it's best to just move in silence, man. Now, y'all can disagree with me if you want, but me as a tactician, me me as a person that's been in the Navy, not the Army, and me as a person that's been taking shots from a young child, because I got the shot for mumps, rubella, meningitis, and I was first infected with chickenpox, so I got the vaccine for chickenpox. So me going through the motions, I'm already indoctrinated in the system. The system ain't gonna break me regardless of whether I'm indoctrinated, because I have that spirit within me. I have that Oshun, that Ogun, and that African warrior spirit within me. So whatever America throws at me, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna succumb to. But all I'm just saying is, man, if you're gonna move, just move in silence, man. I mean, how can I, like I said, I don't have a problem with how he feels or what he wants to do, but just move in silence. Isn't that the best thing to do? Isn't that the best thing to do? Because at the end of the day, if you want to get black people on one accord, just put your money where your mouth is. That $500,000 that he donated to the ADL or the ACL or whatever they call themselves, you could have put that money. You could have put that money in Flatbush, Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And put that money in a credit union and say, okay, listen, brothers, sisters.
Hold on.
Here's
Somebody
five.
brought up a great point. One second, Ed. Somebody brought up a great point in the chat room. You say you don't share anything. Have you shared my channel? Have you shared my documentary, Anthony?
No, I haven't.
Why
You
not?
gonna drop me from the live now, man? Listen,
Have
listen,
you
bro,
bought the documentary yet?
bro,
Have you bought the
bro.
documentary?
Bro. Nah. I'm gonna try to buy it, man. But I've been rocking with you
Whoa,
since you came on this.
whoa. Tries to
Bro,
fail.
hold on, Dynas, hold on, Dynas. I've been rocking with you from since you came on the scene, man. Give me some respect, give me some love, man.
Rocking with me how?
I've been supporting your channel since you came on the scene, man.
How? But you haven't shared. You haven't
Who am
bought the
I
documentary.
gonna share it to? Who am I gonna share it to, man?
Anthony, don't play dumb. What you mean? Who you gonna share it to? Come on, man. What you mean? Don't play dumb.
Huh? I mean, most of our people is on some other shit, man. I'm on this. I'm on your channel because this is what I vibe with, man. Most of our people.
You got a T-shirt at
All right,
least.
all right.
You got a shirt.
All right, bro. All right. I promise. When I get paid this weekend, I'm gonna get a documentary. All right. That's good enough.
After you got a shirt, you got a T-shirt, you got a shirt at least. You got any?
Nah,
You got any Dynasty Mirror gear?
Nah, I just got the subscription, man. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing.
Oh,
You gonna be
come on,
mad at me, son? You mad at me, son?
I can't be mad at you, but it's just you said you rocking with me and you ain't buy no product. I just
All right,
take
man.
it.
I love you to death, bro. You doing your thing, man. Shout out to you, man. You doing your thing.
Hold
I
on,
love
hold
you to
on.
death.
Gas them up. Unmute yourself. Gas them up. Unmute yourself. Gas them up.
What's good, champ?
All right.
Gas them up. Did you get the documentary? Gas them up.
Yeah, I got the documentary. Remember, you sent it to me before you even put it out about the videos, the songs, and I gave you some suggestions. I got the emails too. You remember?
Okay. So you got cool. Come on, Anthony. Come on, buy the documentary, man.
All right, family. All right, bro. Gas him up from the Bronx.
Now, as far as merchandise, I get my stuff custom made. I get my stuff tailor made. I got a Yoruba tailor and I got an Igbo tailor. I can't, they get me custom fitted.
I got a question.
All right. Shout out to you, gas him up. You know what I'm saying? I got you, Dynas. I got you, man. Listen, like I said, I'm not in disagreement
Hey,
because
but Dennis, at least he was honest though. Some people would have BS'd you and said, yeah. At least he kept it real. See, that's why us New Yorkers, we some of the realest people on the earth, but y'all be hating on us so much.
You know that for sure, especially Brooklyn, man. But like I said, man.
Honestly, let me ask you something. You said something about moving silent, which I don't disagree with. What I would like to know, though, since you're a non-sharer in all your 44 years, if Kyrie or anybody else moving in silence and for our betterment, and that information come to you, would you not share it, whether it's in silence or not? Would you not, since you're a non-sharer for 44 years?
46 years, but it depends. It depends on the information. Because I mean, I really and truly, I'm not I'm not on that Hebrew and Judaism and
No, no,
Jewish.
no, 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 no. Not talking about no religious stuff. I'm talking about for
Oh,
the betterment of the people
oh yeah,
collectively,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
economically,
Listen.
financially, ownership, things like that.
Oh,
Since in
definitely,
46 years,
definitely,
you said
definitely,
to
definitely,
me, you said to the
definitely,
audience, you've never shared not
definitely,
anything.
definitely.
Would you share
Listen,
that?
definitely. Listen, I tell my peoples all the time about Dr. Amos Wilson. I tell my peoples all the time about Dr. John Henry Clark. I tell my peoples all the time about Dr. Ben. I tell my peoples all the time about Khalid Muhammad. Certain people is gonna move the needle.
Oh,
Certain people we need.
Anthony, let me ask you a question. But you haven't
Yeah, yeah.
told him about Dynasty. But you haven't told him about Dynasty Meter.
Oh my God.
But you said you rock with me though. You said you rock with me though. But it's all good. It's all good, Anthony. I ain't mad. It's all good. Go ahead.
I don't rock
Hey,
with the
Dynas, the
Georgia.
reason why we
I
ain't
don't rock
spreading
with
your
the
name
Georgia
is because
Bulldogs, though, man. I don't rock with
exactly.
the
Nah,
Georgia
nah.
Bulldogs.
That's the problem. Roll Tide. Don't ever forget that, Dynas. Roll Tide. We may
I
be
don't
down
rock with
right now. Still roll
Alabama.
Tide.
I don't rock with Alabama neither, man. I don't rock with
It's
Alabama.
always
I don't
gonna be
rock with
roll
Georgia
Tide.
Bulldogs, man. You know what I'm saying?
So, brother,
But
brother, you just contradicted yourself in the
no, no,
beginning.
no,
When
no, 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 no.
hold on. When I
Yeah.
asked you, had you ever shared anything with anybody or for any reason, you told me no. And now you just told me you done shared Amos Wilson and a whole lot of other stuff. Come on, we got to just say yes or no on some things. So either you shared, now you come back, you said you didn't, now you said you did. I'm always listening. We got to stop this double-minded, double talking.
Well, however he left, I guess.
Man,
But
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
Dynas, you didn't chase the man off.
no, but that's like when he started in the beginning when he came in talking about the butt breaking stuff, And I say you kind of being contradictory of what you're saying. Just make your statement where you gonna lie, what it is. But I got where he's coming from, but he don't know how to actually articulate what his premise is, I
So
guess.
you believe that I mean, and I'm not saying buck breaking doesn't exist, right? I gave the example on the plantation, but like was Alex Jones, is Andrew Tate, is Charlie Sheen, were they buck broken?
You tell me. It
No,
doesn't
I mean
matter who it.
they were
It
taken away. They the system went against them. They ran afoul of the system, and
no,
this is what happens. There's a system in place. Okay,
but
let me ask you this question.
it's the
You're in
same
Liberia.
thing.
Could
No,
this
I'm not in
happen to?
Liberia. I'm not in Liberia.
No,
I'm
no,
in
I'm saying, but your name
Alabama.
experienced Liberia. I'm not
Right.
saying where you are. I'm not trying to. I'm one of those people. I don't want to know your personal, but I'm just saying you engage with Liberia, and could this have happened to the richest man in Liberia per se? Could the Western capitalist system, could the banks in it, maybe they could have, if he, depending on how much exposure they have to the West, but can Dangote or Patrice Motsepe, can these individuals be canceled and buck broken by the
No,
system?
because they own their own infrastructure, what they created for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So now they may not be able to uh, disseminate their product to certain avenues or regions, but that still is not going to stop their business. So they
and
can't
and
be
that
butt broken.
and that's the point. So of course Shaquille O'Neal is going to come out, and the rest of these idiots and this they have to do that because that's part of the
No, they
when the
don't.
guy.
No, they
Well, no,
don't. You
no.
saying
When I
they
say they
have
have to
to?
do it,
No,
I'm
they
not
don't.
saying no. I'm not saying that it's a good thing for them to do it, right? Like you said, our mamas taught us if you don't have nothing nice to say, keep your mouth shut. However, if you listen to that Drink Champs interview, it was very telling. Kanye West called the guys that were his friends. They were all partying. He called them feds. He said, "Oh, that's part of your contract. You got to come against me." Right? And it's interesting after his whole meltdown, allegedly Sean Puffy Combs is now a certified billionaire according to Forbes, right? Like so he's acknowledging and saying these things behind the scenes. So it does seem that whenever you're a black celebrity, that there are certain rules that you must engage with when you are getting paid by the Western system. And so my whole thing is that if you're going to avoid it, just know for the most part, you're not going to be able to get as much capital that other, situations would get you. Now you can take, like we said, the Dangote route. You can take the Jack Ma route, the Tata route, but that means you're gonna have to get, what's that? I hate to say it, but what's that term? In the old days, I know the elders, you probably heard it when they was playing the numbers. Dutch Schultz said, "Oh, Negro pennies," right? But come to find out, Negro pennies were very lucrative. So we might have to start thinking, you know what? Let's scale down and let's look at Africa as a place where people will consume. But I've been saying that before. A lot of times when people want to go to Africa, they want to bring, I had a friend, he's like, yo, he makes bags. He makes nice bags. But he wants to go to Africa and sell these bags for like $90. I said, well, then you're going to sell one bag for $90. You're only going to be, particular Nigeria, in the rich neighborhoods. Because all those people are not going to sit down there if they got to choose between buying a bag of rice and some plantains and a bag of beans. They ain't gonna buy their kid that $90 bag with the Egyptian pharaohs and princesses on it. No. So you got to think, okay, how do we get these African pennies? I don't want to use Negro pennies. So how do we scale up? How do we do that? How do we create the hybrid? I've said that, right? O'Shea Jackson, he's in Africa employing Africans, but the people who consume his product are in the West. So he gets that foreign, currency, and he's able to utilize that and leverage it to be able to pay and empower Africans on the continent. So we got to start thinking global like that and saying, if we're going to go to Africa, we got to make products that Africans can consume consistently so we can become profitable with it. Take that money and leverage it and start purchasing real estate like the Russians are doing, like the Chinese are doing, like every other group is doing, like the Mexicans are doing. Every other group is doing that. They're leveraging their pennies from their countries back home, right? The Bangladeshi people are doing it. They're leveraging their pennies from back home and using that to create and purchase stronger assets in the West, and then taking the revenue from those assets or those income streams from those assets and reinvesting it back into their homelands. So I think that's what we should start doing on a small scale until we're strong enough to where we don't have to need them. But, that's just me.
Here's the thing, right? We talking about, because the different topic is about canceling culture. This is what it is, right? When you look at, they don't have the power like that. They don't. Until they get one of our own to come in and they know that we're going to be a split team, and you're going to go with the majority of those that's in there, that's on the screen, and tell them or tell you to feed you the propaganda of what it is. When they know themselves, the culture where they come from, and they done talked about it before they got there, but now they're in position, they sold themselves out, and they're selling us out too. And I got it. You know what I'm saying? You doing what you got to do to feed your family, right? But at the same time, you still can maintain your integrity and your honor by sitting up here and say, you know what, that's a touchy subject. I'm not going to touch it right now. I have no comment because my personal views, I don't want to say anything about it. That man has his right. And that's it. That doesn't mean that you're supporting an anti-Semite or being anti-Semitic, which they still cannot disprove that he's not anti-Semitic. I mean, that he's not Semitic. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's about them getting them to tear us down. That's where it's at. We got to stop that. It is what it is. Look here. I can walk away this money. I don't need this money. I know what poverty is like. Yeah, I don't want to go back to it, but I still should have enough money to where I can walk away. So basically, who? I can't speak on it. I'm not speaking on a pocket. All I'm saying is that if you're going to say one instance out your mouth that you for the black people, and then yet in turn when a black person comes out and they stand on their own principles of what they feel, why are you tearing them down? Don't tear them down. That's what they choose.
Hey, let me real quick shout out to I want to give a shout out to brother Christopher Darby. Christopher went to the LA Mirror site and he bought several shirts, and I just got the confirmation. Shout out to you, Christopher Darby, for the support. He got the Africa's the Future shirt. He got the Omo Niger shirt. He got the Black Love or Die Trying shirt, and he got the Calafia shirt. So, shout out to shout out to this brother right here, man. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. That's what he got. So shout out to him. All right, let's pass it to T Khalid. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. It's they didn't have to say anything, but the thing is with the cancel culture with black people is that it's counterproductive for black people to even participate in it. Because if you participate in it, then you cannot get to the root reasons of why your culture is the way it is, why we're still complaining about the same thing 100 years later. Because the thing is, you can't even call out the people who are doing it. So yeah, the thing is, what black people have to understand is that what the untouchable groups will do is that they will say, well, the reason why we have cancel culture is to protect you from racism, is to protect you from white supremacy. See, these are fear tactics that black people buy into. But then when they engage in it, then now look, you can't even talk about your family structure. You can't even say that a woman transitioning at what 9 years old is ridiculous, and that's not a woman, that's a boy. You cannot even speak on those issues because you are supporting cancel culture and a party because you are led by fear that was supposed to stop white supremacists from going online calling you the N-word. And I'm like, so what if they call you the N-word? Call them a name back. But you don't sit there and sacrifice your free speech because you're too emotional to hear what a white person has to say. So yeah, I totally agree with the topic that black people cannot afford to cancel each other because we can't even talk about our topics pertaining to our community. We can't even back each other up. I mean, look at Shaq. He has to act like a sellout. He has to act like a sellout because who he works for, he has to sit there and throw Kyrie Irving under the bus so that way he can get a pat on the back from the untouchables and he can maintain his position. But yeah, man, I agree. It's backwards. It's not moving the community forward. And black men got to stop being so emotional. So what if someone calls your name? Call my name back. Like all this, well, he comes to inward, so we need to ban all white people. So what? That comes with freedom of speech. You are going to have to deal with those people.
Okay, but bro, I agree with you, but you all over the place, man. You saying freedom
Okay.
of speech. You saying freedom of speech, but if you don't have freedom, how do you have speech? But you talking about the untouchables, man. If you want to be untouchable, rep your community, man. Rep your race, man. The problem is not what he said. The problem is not what he tweeted. The problem is how he did what he did. Now, I keep, your brothers just keep giving me pushback and telling me, oh, he has a right to share what he shared. But if you're in a war, why are you giving out secrets? Why you giving out your position to the enemy if you're in a war? Now, obviously, this is not a general that we should be following. This is not a lieutenant that we should be behind, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna tweet that
Yeah, but that's that
some book.
sneakiness of philosophy right there, though, brother.
All
And
right, but
let me jump.
let me finish. I'll let
Go
you
ahead,
jump
go
in, but let
ahead,
me finish, man. Let
go
me
ahead,
finish,
go
man.
ahead, go ahead.
All I'm saying is, when black men talk, notice. I want y'all to notice something about black men, yeah, because we all are brothers and black men on this topic. Notice when black men talk, they always talk about black people, man. Notice that one specific downfall with black men. Notice they say black people, black people. No, it's your ownership as a man to protect your women and your children. So if you're doing something wrong, accept what you're doing wrong. As black men, we are not stepping up to the plate. We are doing something inherently wrong. There is something inherently wrong with our mind state, with the way we move, the way we congregate, the way we socialize, the way we educate each other, and the way we raise our children, and the way we associate with our women. There's something inherently wrong with us, and when we realize that is when we're gonna get to this power position where we can be untouchables. And I pass the mic.
So, do you agree that cancel culture will prevent that from happening? Because what if the power structure says, well, if you talk about these issues, let's say if you talk about the black family, I'm just gonna give you a prime example, and you say, black women shouldn't do X, Y, Z. Well, they call you sexist for that, and they cancel you. Are we just gonna sit there and support that? And it's cancel culture and ride with it? Because that's what I'm responding to. Black people should not be supporting any cancel culture, because if you support that, there's absolutely no way you can get to the truth about anything.
All right, I'm
And
going to refer to my brother Bakari. Bakari, jump in here, man, because I'm drowning here, man. Just come save me, boy.
well, if he's not there, I don't know. I don't think there's no save in that position. I think that if you guys pull a onion back or peel a few layers, I think what Khalik is referring to, and even you to an extent, Anthony, what you're alluding to is the overall brokenness of the community in general. And I think that that's what in these conversations over the past week that I've been monitoring from a distance, I haven't heard anybody actually touch on this. We as a black community have been conditioned to be accepting of certain things that, that put us in that quote unquote off code point of view, in which case, so we accept a lot of things and we tolerate and we let those powers to be that Khalik is referring to, T is referring to, steer us into those things like cancel culture, like Me Tooism, like feminisms, like all those other things that take us off of code of being codified and on our black point, on our black pivot as a community. As far as when it comes to things like, for example, when the Kanye talk, or even with Kyrie talk, or the tweet, it shouldn't even be about the tweet. It should be the uproar should be limited to basically, hey, you can't punish this man for his freedom of speech. It's for everyone. Freedom of speech. This is a black man and you're attacking him, and we should all be on code about that. Period. And that's it. It shouldn't be any levels to that. It shouldn't be no more in depth, or we shouldn't have to analyze, well, are we really Hebrews and are we really Jews, and all that shouldn't even be a part of the conversation. It was a blatant attack on a black man, who exercised his freedom of speech, and it was done vindictively and it was done maliciously, and as a whipping point, as we refer to the buck broken scenario of whipping the biggest and the strongest and making an example out of him. And I think we all should have been on code about that, and that's where the conversation and the discussion for us as a community should have stopped and ended, and we should be on code about that. And automatically, just like how the Jews jump on code anytime they perceive anything to be anti-Semitic, just like white feminists jump on code, or the LGBTQ community jump on code when they perceive any slight offense, or they perceive any
I want to
attack.
ask you a question when you're done, brother.
Yeah, sure. I'm wrapping it up. So, I mean, I think that we should be on the same point, and I don't think that we should be. We should have those divisions amongst ourselves, in the community, even dealing with our celebrities and the coons among us, especially those who have the mic and the camera, like you talk about your Shaqs and your Charles Barkleys and everybody else, your Stephen A's and stuff, who quick to go with the with the Masters cue cards and read off. I think that we should also, be codified in ignoring them and having a voice that's louder than them. They should fear us more so than they should fear, their powers to be, or their masters, or even the loss of that paycheck.
So my question to you is, go ahead, brother, because I want to ask him a question real quick.
Go ahead, Bakari. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Please hit the like button. If you're in the chat room, please hit the like button. If you have not hit the like button, if you're watching, hit the like button, family. All right, go ahead, Bakari.
All right, thank you for letting me come on, man. I ain't gonna be on here long because I'm out my truck. But anyway, Kyrie, he had a right to believe what he want to believe. And all he did was send that tweet out. But I think the problem is we don't stand together. The brother that was just speaking, he was saying getting on code. I don't believe in getting on code, man. You got to live by a code. If you don't believe in standing up for black people just because something happened, you can't all of a sudden get on code, man. That's something you got to live by. And if you don't live by it, it ain't gonna ever happen. And if you don't live by willing to make a sacrifice, you ain't gonna ever sacrifice. I heard Gassim up mention a lot of names about people who sacrificed, who wouldn't buck broken, and he said Ali. So we talking about somebody in the NBA. None of those NBA players and nobody stood up with Mahmoud Abdul Rauf when he refused to stand for the national anthem. And he even came out and spoke and was like, they know I'm good enough. He was the leading scorer and the leading assist man on his team 2 years in a row, playoff team, right? And they told him, he said they sent 2 black execs to him and told him, you can get your contract, you can get the money that you deserve, but you got to say, you got to stand. What he said, he told him you got to give an apology and stand for the national anthem. And he said he was not giving an apology and he wasn't going to stand for the national anthem because he didn't like what was happening to black people. And they sit him on the bench for his last 2 years in the league behind players everybody know he was much better than. He took that and he went on with his life. So my thing is, if you're going to stand on something, you got to be strong enough. And you got to be, if you're man enough to make a decision, you got to be grown enough to accept the consequences. I know we have all been in positions, right? And Anthony mentioned he's in the Navy. I was in the Army, and they sent my unit to Kuwait. I told them I wasn't going to Kuwait because I don't know nobody from Kuwait. Y'all, everything that happened to people in this country now, y'all don't say nothing. But you want me to go to Kuwait and fight for somebody else oil. And I just, I got me an honorable discharge, have no idea how. But I just told them, man, I don't know nobody. Whatever y'all willing to do, go ahead and do it. Because I have made my stand. I am not going, and I was in. We have to be willing. If you want to change something, you have to be willing to make a stand and stand on it. And the people have to be strong enough to stand with him. Kyrie probably felt like he was out there, even though he spoke and said he got a strong army. He probably had some people in the NBA whispering in his ear till that pressure got on him. Then when that pressure got on them, they broke. And that's what ended up happening. We end up leaving our people out on an island by themselves, which makes it harder for them to make a stance. And that's my take, and I yield the mic, man. Thanks for letting me speak.
Well, it's because of that philosophy. I mean, what you're talking about.
I want to ask you a question, Brother Yusuf.
You don't have conviction without knowledge.
I want to ask you a quick question, Brother Yusuf. So I agree with you about code and all that. And I'm an outsider. But for me, from the outside looking in, and I would say this, and I always say it, because Dynasty is a witness to this, right? Because people get defensive. My people ain't got their stuff together neither, right? We all people, but with my side of the people ain't got their stuff together neither. I'll be the first to tell you. And I can't stand it. When I come on here and say Afro beats and I diss it, everybody gets mad, and I say Nigeria is a crap hole, they get mad. How do you say that about the country? I don't stand by it either. These Africans are throwing away their culture every day. I give examples of Netflix showing all kind of nonsense, right? But I get it. Yeah, so I just put it out there so nobody feels offended. But my question is this, and from the outside looking in, I think the problem is, okay, let's use the example of the community that should not be named. Within that community, you have a general understanding that they belong, or they have the ideology that they are this. Now, within that, they have, for example, ultra-Orthodox, ultra-conservative. Then you have some that are somewhat more liberal. And they all have somewhat, let's say, dare I say, different sects, right? You might have those who, if in that Middle Eastern country, they might practice, right, a certain behavior. And then you have those who are actually against the idea of that Middle Eastern country, right? And so, but they still have a general understanding that they are this group of people. And what that comes with is that there's a code of conduct, there's tradition, there's culture, because somebody in one the comments says, gas them up is confusing culture and tradition. There's a culture and there's a tradition that comes with rules and regulations, behavioral expectations, right?
Responsibility.
The problem is responsibility. The problem is that I would argue perhaps in the 1960s, ending with you know the.
Yes, did you ask your question?
I'm about to ask him the
No, he's
question.
getting to it.
I'm getting to
Okay,
it.
okay. I got lost. I'm like, what happened to the question? All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting there. You know, I be writing like I'm writing a theory paper. Don't mind me. Too many
Yeah.
books
I'm
I done
following
read.
this premise.
But
He's
what I'm
premise.
saying is that from the 1960s, you see the loss of that control of the community, and so right now there is no code. It's just like people talk about it, but there's no central understanding of identity and then regional understandings of identity. I always give the example of Du Bois and the Philadelphia Negro, which was different from the Galveston Negro, which was different from the Negro in St. Louis and other places, because the regional needs and understandings of each Negro in their vicinity was different, but there was still a general understanding that people were quote unquote Negro. So much so to the point that there were mail order brides, black men who were in the West during the so-called Wild West. Black women would get on trains from the East Coast and from the South and marry men that they had never seen just based on an advertisement. And they would get there, it wasn't perfect, but they would make it happen. That was then when you had a code. So what I'm saying is that when people say a code now, it doesn't exist. And if you try, okay, so that's what I'm asking. How do you create it to come back? What is the standard? Because I want to know if your code is the same as Dynasty's code. Is it just a capitalist code of, we all get a house and everybody, pay their taxes, as someone said last few episodes? What is the code, and who creates the code?
My code is the same as Dynasty's code. It's the same as your Igbo code. It's the same as the Sierra Leonean Timni or Mende code. It's the same as the South African code. Black code, African code, all across the globe is the same. We are as one, and we have the same issue and the same responsibility to one another anywhere in this world. The problem has come is because, and what we have to recognize, and this is where I say the butt brokenness comes in amongst us. You have some who have been fed this lie, and they now they have internalized it and believe that white supremacy doesn't exist. That, we all have a fair shot. It's all free capital is for free capitalism is for everyone. Free market is for everyone. And they fall into that trap and thinking that they alone can exist outside of the collective. And when you start thinking that you can move and you get promoted or you get chosen as that token Negro that can exist or even succeed outside of the collective, then that's when you have the breakdown in the code. You have a breakdown in the conviction, because then you start to corrupt the conviction. You start to corrupt the instinct. You start to corrupt the internalization of the tradition, of the responsibility. All of those things that you say that are perpetuated and preserved and promoted in the community that shouldn't be named, that is promoted and passed on in other communities and other races, in the Chinese race, and in the Asian community and other places. That's what happens amongst the blacks when you get that tokenism, and because of colonialism and all of the other different infiltrated moves and calculated moves that's been done to destroy the black community everywhere globally. And I'm not just talking about in America. I'm talking globally. When you have that, like you say, like you saw in the 50s, in the 60s, as we begin to rise or come out of colonialism, and they say, wait a minute, we got to change the game on these guys. And then you see everything, you know the list, y'all all know the history. So so to say that the code doesn't exist, no, the code has always existed. The code has always been there. But what we have done is we've lost the conviction. So what needs to happen is we all need to get the conviction. I do not exist outside of the group. I do not exist outside of the collective. Everything I do, everything I am, everything I will be has to be a representation of the collective. My thoughts, my actions, my principles have to be a part of the collective first. then anything after that. That's the priority. I am not a gay black man. I am a black man. I am not a gay black woman.
I mean,
All
that
of those
sounds
other.
good, but there is no code in the black community. So, you what you're
Well,
describing is a
see, then that's
perfect
the
word.
problem. And
And
that's the
yeah,
problem. You
but hold
believe
on.
it. You
The
believe
reason
that.
why
That's the
there's no
problem.
code is because our super focus on white supremacy and not building institutions and not focusing on economics. We're too focused on white people and what they are doing to us and trying to get them to treat us better. That's why we ain't got no code. That's why we think the white man's ice is colder. That's why we want to work up underneath them, because they got the power. No other racial group acts like that. The Mexicans, the Latinos, they have their own institutions. They got their own media. So is the Chinese. There is no one is talking about white supremacy. You can go to China right now and you're going to be talking about Chinese supremacy. So what other groups, when they come to America,
And
when
I'm
they
not going
see
to
they
find
are the
white CEOs
minority
running
groups,
China
they
either.
practice group economics. They're not on the streets protesting every day, powerless, sitting up there begging white people to treat them better. So
Hold on, brother. Hold
until
on, hold on,
black
hold on.
people
You
get
just
educated,
glazed
that ain't gonna
over,
never change.
brother. You just glazed over a whole big portion of that errors and omissions about your statement. You're not going to go to China and find white ownership.
But
Yeah,
You're
you
not going
will
to go to
be as a
Asia and
black man
find
complaining
white
about
ownership.
Chinese supremacy because the Chinese people are the dominant
No,
race.
no,
They're
no,
going to
no,
treat you
no.
the
Listen to
same
what I'm
way
saying.
these white boys treat you
Listen to
here.
what I'm saying, brother. You're not going to go to. You're not. You can't compare the black struggle to other races and say, "Oh, see, they did it, so you can do it too," because they're not dealing with the same problems as the black race. You can't compare the two. So you can't sit here and say, "Oh, well, the Chinese, have their own." Yeah, they have their own. No one invaded China and took theirs. There are
That
no
was an
white
example. I'm talking about
CEOs.
every other race. That was just
Yeah,
one
I know,
example.
I know, but you're not the only. But what I'm saying is, you have black folks who think like that, and that's what I think. That's the conversation we're having. Is that the problem is understanding the brokenness, the breakdown in our own psyche, and where it comes from. And if we have the, and these are the challenges. The challenges is not necessarily the economic model or the group model, group economics. It's the fact that we have this breakdown in our psyche that has conditioned us to act against our own interests, to act off code. And
How
what I'm
can you
saying is
ignore
that
the economic model? Because the untouchables put black people on their code because they control our money supply. They control a lot of our celebrities. So black people have to get on code with the untouchables. It's because the untouchables fund them. So how can you ignore the economic component? That's a huge component. That's what pays their bills.
I'm not ignoring the economic component. I think what I'm saying is that there, I forgot the number that circulates amongst the black community, the the power, the spending of the black community in America, and then versus what it is globally. I forget those rates, but nonetheless, no one denies that the money is not there in the black community. All right, it's there. We understand that we spend more. We are wealthier now than we were 20 years ago. By every metric, the black community is more educated than they were, 20, 30 years ago. So we're doing better. Nobody denies that part, all right, of that economics. But what has gone awry is our thinking, and then again in our gaining of knowledge, and in our gaining of success, and in our gaining of the next level of breaking the glass ceiling, is we bought into those ideas that, oh, it's me, oh, I can do it by myself, oh, it's that we bought into that tokenism. And what I'm saying is that, and when you add into the factors of the, like I said, the Willie Lynchism hasn't stopped, so you can't sit here and say, okay, well, because I don't see the chains and we don't see the whips, that the slavery or the plantation is gone. We're still on the plantation. Colonialism is still very much alive and thriving. So you can't ignore the factors that influence those decisions and keep that Black economic uprising from happening. So you sit here and want to blame the community and say, oh, well, see, Black people just don't know what to do with their money. That's not necessarily true. There are other factors at play that prevent people. Like, for example, Dinus, how many times have you spoke about the airfare to get to the continent versus going into Europe or going into Asia? From Atlanta, you can take a damn $700 flight and get all the way goddamn China. But you trying to come over here to West Africa is what, $1,200-$1,400 now? And
No, that's
it's
not.
and you got to take 2 days.
Yusuf, that's not necessarily true. You get a flight. You can fly direct from Air Senegal to Dakar for about $600, $680.
All right, and then the Freetown is how much?
Yusuf,
and then the Freetown.
We're not the only race. See, what I don't like is
the majority of all my tickets that I buy to Africa. If I'm flying just coach round trip, less than $1,000.
Yeah. What I don't like is how Black people make some excuse, and it really frustrates me, is why we can't go forward. Is you make these excuses like we're some unique race that just can't practice group economics and focus on ourselves like every other racial group. If you talk about white supremacy existing, that means they're not only going to be supremacists to us, they're going to be supremacists to the Latinos. They're going to be supremacists to the Arabs. Hell, we are in the Middle East bombing countries. We're in the Middle East overthrowing governments. Yet you got Arabs over here still coming over here practicing group economics, doing well for ourselves. So we have to stop making these excuses that we can't do anything because the white man's going to shut them down. Look at how other groups have succeeded. Why can't we do the same? Why is it that every time Black people create media, we have to sit there and sell it? The Root was was created by Black people. Why do we sell it to some Latinos? Why is BET not owned by Black people? These are the questions you ask. And then you got to put the onus back on us for selling it instead of blaming other people. Because if you keep blaming other people, nothing is ever going to change because you take the power away from us and put it in someone else's hand.
Click, you make it sound like Asians and Mexicans are doing better than Blacks in America.
Are they complaining about white supremacy? Are they every day talking about white supremacy?
We're not talking about who's complaining.
Okay.
We're talking about economics. Are you saying that Asians and Mexicans are doing better in America than Blacks?
Absolutely. I go to Black neighborhoods and there is none but Asian shops there, Latino shops. You cannot go to any of their neighborhoods and sell their food back to them. You can't even sell any soul food back in their neighborhood. So don't sit there and tell me that they got it worse than us.
I walk in a building, I'm going to see more Mexicans
they ain't complaining.
In the building than I'm going to see Blacks in the building.
Yusef.
Yeah,
you got to give it up to the brother, man. I mean, he's absolutely right, man. I don't agree with him on the aspect with Kyrie or whatever. But when you come down to the meat and bones, man, he's absolutely right, man. We have no excuses, man. We have no. Let me finish. Let me finish, man. Because just like T, I get tired of excuses, man. A Black man, and I can ask all brothers on this panel, what's our problem? What's our problem regionally? What's our problem locally? What's our problem globally? We're dominated, right? Whether we're being dominated by white folks, Asian folks, Hispanic folks, or them other folks, man. We're being dominated. So if Black men understand they have a problem with domination, as far as some other race of men, not women, not people, but some other race of man is dominating you as a Black man, you understand what is your problem. Your problem is you're being dominated. Okay, so if our neighborhoods are being dominated, if our neighborhoods are being overrun and being economically dominated by other races of people, we have to do something about that. We have no excuse, man. We have no excuse, man. let's turn off the TVs. Let's turn off. Let's stop watching the football games. Let's stop watching the basketball games. Let's stop going out there shooting dice. Let's stop going out there talking about how much pussy we gonna get on a Friday and a Saturday night. Let's put in some work, man. Let's put in some work, man. We work 8 hours a day. Some of us might work 12 hours a day, but we still got some time to put in some work, man. Are you your brother's keeper or not, man? No, listen, man, we past the time of excuses, man. Cause the way you making it sound, Yusef, is like, yo, all right, yo, let's keep making excuses till 2023, man. Let's keep making excuses till 2024, 2025. Yo, we can't do nothing because the system is dominating. Yo, the system
Well,
gonna do. The
no,
system is doing. The system is doing what it's built to do, man. Keep
no, I
you
think you're
under the.
missing
Keep
my
you.
point. I
No,
think
no, no,
y'all
no, no. You
both
you
fall on
have, brother,
either.
brother. I understand you saying the causes. I understand you saying the symptoms, but we
So
beyond
stop
that, bro.
being being pessimistic on either side of the
Pessimistic?
level
No,
of the right and fuck.
I'm optimistic. I'm saying if
How?
we
Where's the
get together,
optimism in that if we
I'm
keep saying,
saying
okay, well, brothers
no.
keep making excuses all the time?
The reason why I'm optimistic, because I'm saying if we get together and we bind our nuts, hold our nuts as men, as black men, and say, yo, fuck all this shit, man. We ain't going out like this, man. Fuck all this shit, man. I don't care. I don't care if you got $1 and I got $1. That makes $2, man. I hook up with my brother T Khalif or whatever. He got another $2. Now we got $4, man. Now we can open up a lemonade stand. Now we can open up a fruit stand or whatever, man. We gotta do what we gotta do. We met. Ain't no excuses for men, yo. Boys do it.
Right. So that sounds
Children,
like a code to
children,
me. That
children
sounds
do.
like a code.
Children do what they can. Men do what they want, man. Are we men or what, man? I mean, how long we gonna let this
Again,
shit continue, man?
I
Because
agree with you, but that sounds like a code.
women are
That
looking at
sounds
us.
like a code.
Black women are looking at us and say, "Damn, man, all these brothers do is make fucking excuses, man. All they do is cry about the system. They can't do this. They can't do that. Every time we try to do this, somebody knock us down, man. Forget all that, man. Every time they knock you down, you come back even stronger, man. We have no excuses, man.
And finds himself, yeah, okay, well, damn, nobody's standing with me, and now I have to apologize, and it's like, okay, well, where's my support? Well, we pointing the finger at him. See, you dummy, you should have stayed on it or kept your mouth shut. Oh, you dummy, well, you shouldn't have never posted that. Oh, well, if you was gonna go hard, you should have went hard. You ain't go hard enough. It's like there's no win even amongst us. So what I'm saying is that the code, if we all had that same conviction, the code would have automatically kicked in and had us all jumped up
But
and saying, "Hey, yeah,
it's like the brother just told you. There is no code. There is no code, and we don't have to have a code. We don't have to have a code. We just have to. We
hold
just
on
have
now,
to.
you can't have it." No,
No,
we
no, no.
have to
Hold on,
have a
hold on,
code.
hold on.
We have to
No,
have a
no,
code.
no, no, no. We can. No. When you don't have no power, you don't need no code. When when you are oppressed, what you need a code for? All you have to do is know that you're oppressed, man, and you know who the oppressor is. The oppressor is white men. White men are oppressing you, right? So you know who you have to fight. Asian men are oppressing you, so you know who you have to fight. Arab men are oppressing you, so you know who you have to fight. So what? Why do we need? Why do we have to be some type of religious, morally correct people, man? We can be
Hey,
bastards.
let me pass it to set to ma'am. Set to
All right,
ma'am.
guys.
Go ahead. Unmute
Yeah.
yourself. Unmute yourself, set to. Go ahead.
May God's peace and mercy be upon you guys. And I've been following the debate, and I just wanted to contribute a little bit about what you, Prentice Dynast, mentioned about the flights in Africa, between African countries. Has been very difficult for people traveling inside Africa. And also, I'm here in Senegal, West Africa. I know Air Senegal, a lot of new stuff happening, but still, it was not something affordable for people to travel inside Africa. But when it comes to people coming from Europe, it's like maybe the double of what you pay from two African country, like in Africa. So it's has been
Uh,
very
it, it,
difficult.
it, it, it depends. Like if I'm flying from Dakar to uh, Mauritania or Dakar to Bamako or to pretty much from Dakar
Dynast, you're
to
talking about
I would
200 miles.
It's
So
it's cheaper. It's cheaper when you like Dakar to, let's say, Dakar to Morocco. It's cheaper when you come from France to come to Dakar
right,
than going
right.
from Dakar to Morocco.
no
The
no
distance
no
is
no
not.
no 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 no. I can get a flight from
Or even the
I'll fly
Carter.
I get a flight from Dakar to Casablanca for like $250. I don't know any flights going from air from Charles de Gaulle or anywhere in France
Well,
or
right
anywhere in
now they're
Europe
trying hard to have to have like own, let's say, airlines in the country because of the flight difference. People were not taking flights, but now people are trying because they're getting the price kind of more affordable. It's like these last couple of years, to be honest. It's these last couple of years. But the problem for me is not fighting somebody. It's not fighting like a race or fighting. It's not also relate like trying to join like a race with a orientation or whatever it is. Here it's like deeper than that. It's something that like generation in generation have been like facing and still facing. Having access to education, even to exist in your own country, is difficult. To be like a citizen or have a paperwork, like it's difficult for like millions of people for in Senegal. I'm not talking about other countries where there's wars, where there's a lot of problems like food and everything. So it's still like something that it's a fight to like economic fight or whatever you can call it, to be able to like have our own sit and ground it on it and know that this is ours and this is something that we claim and nobody's gonna take it from us. And it's like a lot of work that people have been doing on the ground, but also overall having access to travel to get out of Senegal, let's say, and go to America or go to like Europe to see like how they're doing and knowing that there's anything better that they have that we don't have or that we can't do, but we still can't do it because of something. And let's talk about that, why it is still happening. It's like
Right.
something that every generation has to take responsibility and do whatever they have to do. And it can be secret, it can be whatever it is, but it's like a union, and like united we strong, divided we fall, as they say. So I think it's really important. It's coming together, because stronger we are, the better we can face some like groups, because we're not minority in this world. We deserve better and we have to do better. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, guys, what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and close out. Before we close out, the contest. Once again, how you enter the contest. To be entered, you have to go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the document. Guys, I don't know how to silence my phone. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what's going on. Hey, Yusuf, can you mute yourself? Let me mute you. You got a lot of noise in the background. Thank you. Guys, go to searchforuhuru.com. Again, go to searchforuhuru.com. All right. When you buy the documentary, you're going to be entered to win a trip to Africa on one of our tours. All right. Between yesterday and the contest ends on the 27th. If 3,000, not if, when, we're going to claim this. When 3,000 people purchase the documentary, when 3,000 people purchase the documentary on the 28th, I'm going to draw a lucky winner and you will come with us on a tour on us. Okay. So again, go to searchforuhuru.com, buy the documentary. That is how you're entered into the drawing. When you buy the documentary, you entered into the drawing. The drawing is, the contest is from yesterday to the 27th. We get 3,000 people to buy the documentary within those 3 weeks. Lucky person is going to come on a tour. Okay. So, and then the tour options are Sierra Leone in April, Senegal in May, Nigeria in August, and Zanzibar in November. So, a lot of people have said, Dynast, you've inspired me to travel to Africa. This documentary right here is going to put that bug in you to definitely hop on a plane and go to Africa. So with that being said, after you watch the documentary and you're like, Dynast, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to hit the continent. Listen, one of you will get blessed with the opportunity to come on our tour, on one of our tours. Until next time, family. Dynast. Yeah, no problem. Until next time, family. Dynast Amir, Search for Uhuru. Peace.